These days, it can be difficult for us to have open and earnest conversations with one another. We are oftentimes asked to take polarizing stances on issues that are just too complex to be summed up as simple rights and wrong, like smooth or crunchy peanut butter. And as a result, we either live divided or isolate ourselves. Shit, I should have fucking practiced this.
You can start
Like
over.
I'm not gonna start over. Alright, I'm gonna just start. As a result, we either live divided or isolate ourselves from others to preserve our own values. In rebellion of this otherwise wearisome rhetoric to... No, fuck. It's right here in front of me, right? And I can't fucking read it. In rebellion of this wearisome rhetoric of you versus me and us versus them, a few people, that's us, have come together to create an environment where the stakes are low so people feel free to speak their mind. Under the banner of one of humanity's greatest unifiers, that is music, we take this time to give you the Low Stakes Lo-Fi Podcast.
I like that.
We'll just edit that to be real good.
No edits allowed. It's got to be 100% us
I don't know about that.
all the time.
Let's get a quick introductory round. We're only just gonna do this for the first couple, I think. But let's do it again real quick. I'm Bears or Dakari, currently enrolled in college for Associate in Arts, and yeah, I didn't have anything else to say, so.
Hey, I'm Jay, otherwise, Jae, otherwise known as Jay, just the letter J. And I'm here with my friends, my nearest and dearest internet pals and cousin. Actually, should they know that yet? Partying.
I don't know if they knew that, but yes, me and Jay are cousins.
I should have held on to that one actually until like the second season.
It's too late. You put it out there.
People were like, "Whoa!"
A plot twist.
We'll edit it out. We'll edit it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Liana. I'm Bear's internet friend as well as Jay's, and I lived in the U.S. and now I live in Sweden.
And is not black, right?
I like how you gave your relationship to me and Jay, but not to the person you have the closest relationship to.
Wow.
Well, me and Bears and Jay go further back than I do with William, so.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm half as far back though.
Sorry, William. You're a fourth wheel in this one.
Yeah.
Well, we're just a car. We're moving fast then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my name is William, as you might have guessed. Right now I'm unemployed and I live in north of Sweden.
Homeless.
Not homeless.
Not homeless.
I have too many homes, to be honest.
Rich.
Yeah.
All right.
Successful.
Unemployed brand. That's it.
So, what we like to do here on the Low Stakes Podcast is talk through a couple of topics that we might not necessarily see eye to eye on. But before we get into the discussions, we'd like to start off with a quick concept piece. So today's concept I'm throwing at you guys, I want you to really consider this one, because there's a lot of places, for the sake of the podcast, like to ask you to turn your phones off.
We just did.
Mm-hmm. Don't ruin the movie. No, but so the concept we're talking about today is humans with tails.
I'd like to have a tail.
And so this is one I came up with. It was a short conversation I had with some friends when I was working with my internship with Audubon, and we talked about how society would change if we had tails. Like, you wouldn't go to a restaurant where you heard people were cooking with their tails.
I might.
What?
You'd eat food
yeah.
where they didn't wrap their tails up.
This would be like a naked tail.
Is it a naked, like just a skin tail?
Right.
Or
So
like
I think it's a hair tail. I don't want a skin
So
tail.
we're all just like skin, and then our tail is all fuzzy, like.
It's a
Kinda
hair
like
tail.
a head.
Off-putting.
Like the
Well, you
hair.
gotta
Yeah, like our
realize
hair,
it's
yeah.
gonna be-
Yeah.
You gotta realize there's gonna be a definite culture shift between the tails and the tailless, because not everybody's gonna. Oh, maybe not everybody wants tail.
Some people are born
I
with
don't
two
know.
tails, probably. You think that's
nutty.
cool, or that's considered a deformity?
As long as they wax it. Alright.
I think it'd be cool to be born with two tails if you could like control them both independently. But like if they're just kind of hanging there, I think it might be. I'd feel a little insecure about that.
I probably hate those people because they probably think they're better because like you need a bigger brain to control two tails. 'Cause
A scientific fact. Do you think
It's like being left-handed.
tails are like a status symbol, like long or thin tails or bushier tails
Wait,
or
so
something
like,
like that?
would everybody have tails?
Yeah, you're just naturally born with tails.
Oh, everybody has tails.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
It
For a second,
add,
I
like,
thought you were
more to
talking about-
body language too, because you would know how people are
Oh.
feeling by the
If
way.
they're
that
half.
they
Oh,
act.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, really good liars would have to keep their tail relaxed.
Yeah.
And in place of the lie detector test on like our like brains or whatever, they'd like hook it up to our tail. It's like the more
Yeah.
your tail twitches. We know you're lying because your tail flexed when you said that.
You're really hard to lie at.
Hmm.
Now, like how like can you have like a really strong like can you work out your tail and have a strong tail and like
Well,
pretty
that's
much
what
stand up on your tail?
That's
or
what
like,
animals do. Like kangaroos can balance on their tail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
like
sure can.
monkeys hang in trees.
Oh.
I think we have more ape-like tails though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
I think you'd be able to turn corners faster while running at top speed if you had a tail.
Yeah, I think we'd be better athletes overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our balance
Yeah,
would be a
imagine,
lot
like-
better.
Sports. Too.
But I wouldn't want to work a job where my boss is like getting on my ass to use my tail to increase efficiency. Like,
Are you serious? I'd be mad if like my boss. I thought you were gonna say like if your boss didn't allow you to use your tail.
No, I wouldn't want like a job, like a desk job where my boss is like, you got to put your tail in there, man. You got to get these reports out. Start typing with your tail, or something like that.
Tail.
Like you have to use your hands and your tail.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, if you're used to it, I think it's fine. But if it's something weird that you're not really doing, then yeah.
I feel like you're just unathletic if you just can't use your tail.
Wow, you're already shaming people for not having athletic tails.
Well, how big is the tail? Like, how?
I think
feel
the
like
tail
it's-
goes. I think it's like leg length.
That's crazy.
So I imagine we like keep the tails erect. Like we don't just let them drag on the ground because that's unsanitary. That's what little kids do. They drag their
As a
tails.
little kid.
Yeah, toddlers drag their tails.
Wait, does it cause? Is it like? Does it cause? Does it take energy to like lift up your tail, like lifting up your leg? Would it be
Probably like
tiring?
anything else.
It's probably like you know how your heart is like an extremely strong muscle. It's probably like that, or like keeping your eyes open. Like it's
Okay. That's not
technically
that-
effort, but
Not like lifting your
yeah.
arm.
Some people, you're probably required to wrap your tails in school so they don't get in the way or whatever.
I think everything would like be set up differently too,
Mm-hmm.
like the way chairs are and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, bullying changes. These kids pulled my tail today.
Called me a lemur.
What?
How dare they?
There would no longer be, the black racism slur monkey. I think you'd have to get rid of monkey. You have to take that one
Really?
out your roster. Because we're all resembling monkeys. We're too close.
You'd be like, you tailless fuck.
Yeah, it'd be worse to be tailless than to actually resemble a monkey.
Yeah.
Like, you'd see veterans from the war with, like, missing tails or, like, a chopped tail, and you'd be like, thank you for your service,
Shit, man.
Yeah.
I'd really enjoy having a tail.
Would probably be more acute, too, I think. Because you can't be clumsy with a tail.
Yeah, you can catch yourself before you fall.
Well, what I
Yeah.
mean is, like, you can't be, like, reckless. Like you can't turn your back on your like stove and like burn your tail, or else no more tail.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you gotta be more careful. You gotta be more. This one. Do you think?
I don't even.
How do you think tails, factor into the bedroom?
Oh god,
I don't want to know.
all kinds of tricks.
I think they're probably more foreplay instruments than anything.
Yeah, I feel like size wouldn't even matter anymore.
Oh god. Really? You think so? I don't think.
No!
Listen, I don't think any woman's gonna want a tail anywhere.
You're saying they're gonna be
You
using
said you don't
furry-ass
think any-
tails?
You said, I'm telling you, dude, not have my shit waxed.
Okay, real quick, cause like
It'll be smooth.
Wait, do you think women would have their tails waxed?
if
and,
it's
men wouldn't?
waxed, you could do that, but I don't think you could have a hairy tail and just like do that.
No, but like I mean in general, do you think that it would be like a thing that women wax their tails, and if they don't wax their tails, guys are like, ew.
No,
I mean,
like-
for some people, I don't know, man.
I think
Because-
hairless tails are not very
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing
not very
at all.
appealing.
Well, you also didn't grow up in a culture where there were tails, so
Yeah.
That's true.
that's
like,
true.
I mean, like there might be some good-looking tails out there, you know.
Yeah,
Like I could tell she'd be working out.
but if it's like, if it doesn't have any hair on it, would you be wearing clothes over it, or would it be cold?
Like it would probably be like style. You can probably like dress it up.
We probably got
some
like
kinda way.
tail socks,
Yeah,
Tails.
tail sleeves,
leggings or anything?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean like stuff to put on our tail to keep it warm if it's
Yeah,
shaved. So is shaving your tail like a statement, or is it like a hygiene thing that we do? Like, is it just part of what we do?
I
Oh,
think it's
man.
probably hygiene.
Yeah.
Not like cleaning
Keeping it kept.
but like shaving it, like bald
Yeah.
tail. You
Yeah.
think
I
it's
think
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
are thinking about it in a strange way. Like if like we do our hair on our head, and like there's probably
yeah.
people are probably like going to the barbershop getting their tails faded and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Well, so does tail hair correspond to our head hair? Like, is Liana's tail hair like more longer strands, and you and me have like smaller, shorter,
Squirrel
black
tails.
Yeah, squirrel tails.
yo, that'd fuck me up. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I think if that were the case,
I'd definitely keep my hair short. Then
really, I think I'd grow my shit out. I'd be more excited to grow my shit out. Have a long haired tail, yeah.
just dread. It'd be so heavy.
Yeah, I dread that shit. It would be heavy. You'd have to like tie it around your leg or something.
Or just be strong, I guess. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. So swimming would be something I'd enjoy probably.
We'd have to change our whole technique to swimming.
You probably wouldn't like. I mean, you'd use your arms, but it'd be like you'd be swimming like Godzilla, like just.
What
Like
kind
a
of tail
tadpole.
do you have?
I'm
guess-
thinking like a giant like you said as long as my leg and
We
it's
said
a
like
muscle.
Yeah, but
we
it's
could
like
work it out.
like simian tail though. It's not like as thick as your leg.
Oh, that's stupid. I'm thinking like
You're
a
thinking
freaking
like lizard tail.
yeah, honestly, like not really, but like not like scales or
No,
anything.
I'm
that,
talking
but,
like I'm
you
talking
know,
like cat tail or simian tail.
Yeah, I guess so. Damn, that changes my whole perspective on
Yeah,
all this.
that's what I was thinking this whole time.
I was just looking at Bella's tail the other day. I have cats, and they're new to my life, but I've never seen a cat without hair. So what does that look like? The base of their tail.
You never
And-
seen a shaved cat?
I mean,
They're
I
ugly.
don't. They are, sure are. But I just never like paid attention to cats until recently.
Cats are the best, man.
I like
I'm still
cats.
standing on this wheel.
You need to chill.
It's actually I wasn't able to do this before, so it feels good.
All right. Anything else we want to add to this conversation about tails? I feel like we could talk about this all day. So
That's a
yeah,
Very possibly, yeah.
yeah, it might be good to put that one down. But I feel like I want to ask like a pivotal question about like our status as tails, or our.
I got some stuff.
All right, go ahead.
Are we still going through evolution, and what does that look like for us in the future? So let me put it into context. I mean, we used to be what, Homo sapiens, and then, or before that, we were like nether Neanderthals and stuff like that. Is there something else we're gonna go through that's gonna give
Or
us
not
some type
grow
of
a tail.
advantage? What's that?
Are we gonna grow a tail?
I mean, that could be part of it, but just
We
like, yeah, in
evolved
that
out
same
of
realm.
tails.
Yeah, we did. Those little thumbtails that some people still have.
Well,
Say, 'cause how the world's changing. Don't know how long we're gonna be around.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
That's also true.
Like Earth's just gonna be water.
That's depressive.
And the cephalopods will rule. I read that the other day. That or not read it, but I actually learned it in class the other day. That if you got rid of mammals, squids and octopuses would be the most intelligent creatures on Earth.
Yeah. The only problem with squids is that they don't live or squids and octopus, they don't live very long, and if they did, they would be like hella superior.
Mm-hmm.
Do they not live that long?
I think.
How
most
long?
I don't remember what I saw, but I
They
remember it being like
live up to
5
8
years.
years old. Squids.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, it can't be. They're finding like giant squids, like
Yeah.
huge ones.
And
8 years?
octopi live up to 3 to 5 years.
Oh, that's sad.
Wow.
I want a pet.
Maybe you don't want them to live longer.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
Maybe we'll evolve into like fish people.
what
If the
what kind
water's
of
rising.
are you talking like? I think that evolution would occur in very different ways than our thoughts on evolution currently. So like,
Alright.
because we're very developed, and I believe that like it's just micro evolution, like no macro anymore.
And you know that to be true? That's for true?
That's what I think. Like, if I had to think about something that I would evolve, probably a more, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Not durable, but like resilient. Hold on.
Because even like there's like signs of weird evolutionary traits in remote isolated places where the people are just, so there's like an island somewhere, I don't know where it is, but the people there have to fish often, and it became part of their culture to fish often, but they free dive. So all these people on this island are able to hold their breaths for like ridiculous amounts of time and dive and be under amounts of pressure that would like really hurt me or anybody else who just doesn't really dive frequently. So that's just like something that they have created themselves because of their situation and how they've been living for the longest time in isolation.
Yeah.
You can look these people up, but they do that.
What are they called?
I don't know. If you type it in the internet, water people.
Water people.
I think the word I was looking for was robust. Yeah, so like
Bust what?
a more robust like sclera or eye, so like I could look at screens longer without my eyes hurting.
Yeah,
It's a very
that would be practical.
yeah, it'd be very
Yeah,
practical
would
in our
be,
world.
yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like looking at a screen, and all of a sudden just headache city, and I'm like, God damn it! Now I
Yeah.
gotta stop doing like 90% of all my usual activities right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I used to go through something like that where I used to get like really crazy bad headaches, but I keep playing games anyway. I think the doctor didn't know what the hell
I used
she was
to
talking
do
about,
that as a
but-
kid, but not anymore.
Right. Right,
Now
but
I go lay
doctor
down
said-
for 30 minutes.
But what I'm saying is that doesn't happen to me anymore at all.
Really?
I get tired of looking at screens, but I don't get like it doesn't hurt me or anything like that. Like that doesn't happen anymore.
It's very rare. It's not a very common thing. But I like if I stay up, if I do it for a couple weeks in a row, where I'm just looking at screens all day and I stay up late, and I'm like not. It really is tied to how much I'm sleeping too, not just how much I'm looking at screens. Then like my eyes would be like, we gotta fucking take a break, dude. Then I like just rest, close my eyes and rest. I don't even read or anything for like a couple hours. Then I come back to it and it wears off.
Yeah. I think I had the same thing where I get like a headache or eye strain or whatever from looking at the screen, but it's just I keep doing it anyways because what else am I supposed to do? Stare at the ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I used to take like some sort of medicine. And just keep going.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Maybe like try to get some fresh air or something, but
That's the best cure.
Yeah.
but
It's like
Can't do that in the middle of the night or anything.
no,
Exactly.
or-
Yeah, and that's usually when it happens.
Yeah.
Just like in the evening.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
well, that's why I like summertime so much.
yeah.
Continue, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say it's very rare for me to do, but I do like to. Sometimes I'll just leave my apartment and go sit on the balcony, and that's like, for me, that's so not a usual thing because I like being inside and I like being on my computer. I like doing all my stuff in here, but like I'll just go out there and listen to music. I don't know, just like pretend to be a retired grandpa for a little bit. But it's
Yeah.
nice for a couple hours at a time to just sit there.
Yeah, I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of creative blogs and I watch vlogs and stuff like this on these creative people. But what they do a lot of time is they take themselves out on dates, pretty much. They just go out and just do something by themselves, and like whether it's like walking around the park and just aimlessly doing that, or like going to a museum, or but it's just something that you do kind of by yourself and you just enjoy that. And what that does for a lot of these creatives, it just gives them that space to think and come up with new ideas instead of drilling themselves, but like banging their head on a wall to come up with new ones and stuff like that. But I love doing stuff like that naturally. Like when I found that I was doing stuff like that, like my best ideas would come. Sorry, just got to get that out.
No, you're good. I did something like that. Not super recently, but a while ago, when I had money, I just went out to this steak restaurant down the street, and I just like went in and had myself a nice little dinner. But it was, very much, I felt the situation, because people didn't seem. Because I was like, I'm just gonna go out and get myself some steak and just have a nice steak dinner, and that was my thought. And then I went and did it, and like, I don't know, they seemed very not weirded out, but they were almost very intrigued or overly sympathetic to some perceived situation. Because like I was alone, and I was like, I'm having my steak dinner, and I just ate, and I was like, just talking to the people, and they're very, very polite, and I don't know, it felt like I don't normally get that kind of attention or service when I'm like with someone.
No, you don't. And I think that's like a really common misconception that like it's okay to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't go to the movies by myself, but like I don't think there's anything wrong with people doing that.
Yeah, I've done
Like,
that.
I think that But like that's like
Really
frowned
too.
upon. It's just like to
Mhm.
some people, like some people think there's something wrong with that, but there's nothing wrong with going somewhere by
Yeah.
yourself and doing and having
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That's but the thing is, people I think it's really tied to like because I'm young. I remember telling someone I go to the movies by myself. It was someone older, and they're like, "Oh, you got to do that in your 30s and 40s. You can't do that while you're young. You gotta like go with your friends and stuff." But I was like thinking about it. It's like, yeah, I guess it does. It seems less strange for someone who's older to be like doing stuff on their own and like by themselves. But like when you're younger, you usually see young people hanging around with like a crowd of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just not like that. I have a certain amount of energy for that, and then after that, it's just like
Yeah.
I need to take a break from everybody for
Yeah.
at least 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
then I'll be
Yeah.
back.
I don't
You
think
know?
any of us are particularly like that.
Yeah.
We should have called it the antisocial podcast. Nah. I got
I
I
go
got a
out
certain
to
amount.
eat alone like all the time. I love going out to eat alone.
Yeah.
Especially it's your favorite joint, you know. You get to know
Mhm.
the people there. They
Yeah.
you walk in, they're like, "Hey, Liana,
Yeah.
what's up?"
Yeah,
That's how it is with
exactly.
me and Subway all the time. They'll be like,
Yeah.
I've been like,
You-
I've been served ahead of people because they like know my order, and they'll be like, oh yeah,
Right.
you want this thing real quick, and they'll just make it, and I
Dang.
pay and I get out, and they're like, oh yeah, I got you. Your order's really quick, and it's like, yeah.
That's so nice.
The
And-
that feels good, but it's also sort of sad that it's Subway. I got a couple
Well,
restaurants I hit up
I
that
think that's-
frequently, but mostly Subway.
But that's like impressive because usually like you go up to the counter and say like I want this bread and they like make it in front of you and like you
Mhm.
tell them on the way.
yeah, yeah.
But like so it's like crazy that they just
It
like,
is
oh, yeah,
it
here
is
was
super
order.
convenient. It is super convenient for that kind of restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to have that kind of social circle of like restaurants I like in the future, and like
Hmm.
when I bring my friends places and stuff, it's like they know you here. It's like
Yeah, I got-
here all the time.
I got that kind of rapport with Subway. That one place you ordered Uber Eats from, Taste of Chicago. I got that
Mhm.
kind of rapport with them there. Like when I come in, the lady knows what I like. I feel like there's some other places too, because usually, when I was in Minnesota, there was this deli around the corner, and like I knew the people who worked there on a name basis. Like
Mhm.
I learned about them, and like the main guy who owned the place, like his daughter, and he was like, when I came back home from college, he was like, "Oh man, it's been a long time." He like gave me all my stuff for free, and it was like,
Oh wow.
yeah,
I feel like that's points on a date too, especially if you like know the owner and everything.
Oh,
And he knows like
I would take my,
you try to
I would take Ashton over there, and every time she was impressed.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's
These
just
are
little,
life tips, guys.
little points. Yeah, William taking notes.
I feel like
met-
I get like kind of embarrassed like if I go somewhere with my friends and they're like, "Oh, Liana, you're back here again." I'm like, "Yeah," and my friends are like, "You were just
Well,
here."
that's
I'm like,
something that
"Yeah."
sounds a little strange. You're back here again. I don't like that.
try to pull like shades out your pockets, and it's wrappers from the place.
You just got scratch out cards, like that stamp thing. Like every time you come here, you get a stamp.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so many of those.
All right, you guys said you had some topics as well.
Barely, not me.
No, I mean Leona
Yeah.
and William.
No.
I
Yeah,
think
I
William
have.
should go
Should I go first?
first. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was just thinking about what's your opinion on esports? Like, is it a real sport? Is it not a sport? Is it supposed to be like competitive and all that stuff? Like,
I've given two.
Or, like-
I've written 2 essays on
I've-
this.
really?
Really?
Yeah.
I've known there's some like discussions about if esports should be in the Olympics or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was
just-
I was super hype about that.
Wait. Let Bears go last on this because it seems like he's pretty informed.
Yeah, you guys go
He
ahead.
has a lot to say. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys go ahead.
Okay.
Get it, Liana.
Yeah, I think it's like I think the problem with people being, is it a sport or not, is like the whole definition of what a sport isn't as important as like what they're actually trying to say is which is it as important as sports? Like,
Mhm.
because I think it's hard to define things like art, like, oh, are video games art or whatever. Like that discussion can be said to death, and I feel like it's the same with esports. It doesn't really matter if it's a sport or not. What you're debating is whether it's important enough.
I've written
Like,
2
to
essays
be-
on that too.
On art?
On
Like,
if video games are art.
okay, yeah. Yeah, because I feel like the semantics isn't what matters. What you're trying to say is like, should it be considered as important as like the other
Mhm.
stuff that's considered
Yeah.
sports or art, whatever? And like, yeah, in that case, I would say it is like it's fun to watch, and it has like a huge following, and it requires skill in a different way. But
Yeah.
like, it's hard to say what is a sport. Like, does it have to be physical? Like, does it have to be physical, only athletic kind of skills, or what? I guess I don't know.
In my opinion, like uh, things like gymnastics, cheerleading, snowboarding, skateboarding are not really a sport because they're judged. Anything that is judged and based off like opinion is not a sport. Anything that has like hard and fast rules, like point here or there's like an objective, can be like, you know, a sport in my opinion. So esports, in my opinion, are definitely a sport depending on the game, I guess.
Yeah.
But that'd be most games, like a racing game. The first place guy is the winner, or because like there's laws in video games, like you can't break the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, I guess, if you're doing certain stuff.
There is
Not
no
even talk
cow.
about cheating. Like no, not even like cheating. Just like you break the game, like glitch it or whatever.
Mm.
You're exploiting, the rules within the game. But definitely, I think esports are a sport, and it's not even because of like the skill and all the other stuff that goes into account. It's just that there's rules and you have to abide to them no matter what, and there's a winner and loser. So yeah, it's not a competition. It's hard and fast.
So this argument for me, sort of boils down to the whole tomato being a fruit versus a vegetable thing. It's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
the scientific definition, in fact, is that the tomato is a fruit. But you guys know that anecdote. It's like you don't put a tomato in a fruit salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
Why not?
well, you go ahead and do that. You tell me why. It's like you enjoy the tomato as a vegetable because that's basically the way it behaves, even if it's got the scientific qualifications of being a fruit. So sports, by their most rigid definitions, have to involve athleticism, and we could make the argument that there is a certain amount of athleticism and like how much time and practice the people put into their sports, and the exertion that they like have to mount, like the reaction time and all that stuff for in the case of esports. But what we're really talking about when we ask if it's a sport is like the competitive nature of it and the value we get out of watching it and enjoying it. And I grew up watching my dad play StarCraft, and he would shout and holler at the screen like as if you were watching like the Super Bowl for like 3 hours a day every night. So it was the Super Bowl 3 hours a day every night. So if you ask me, if it's like if esports is the same as sports, it's like, well, yes, of course, but the real thing is like, as Liana said, she touched on it a little bit, but it's like, should it be taken as seriously as a sport? And I say, absolutely. I was like the most hype when I learned that StarCraft 2 was going to be played at the Olympics, and it was, and like that was like a pinnacle moment, I think, in esports history. It's like,
I had no idea that happened.
I didn't know that happened. No.
yeah, yeah, it was awesome. And Dota 2 was shown on ESPN once,
Yeah.
and that's one where I kind of understand why you wouldn't want that to be shown there, because
Yeah.
ESPN there's a certain standard that and an expectation people have when they go to watch that channel.
That's not their audience.
Exactly, yeah, it's not their audience. So, if you wanted to make esports sports, you can't just force it into where the sports slot would be, but you have to like hold it up on its own and see, like, compare them as they are, and not just like totally pretend that they are exactly the same, but
Right.
see what it's really what we get out of one, and if we get that same thing out of the other, then you can say that yeah, they're culpable. They're basically the same, which is the enjoyment and the competitive nature of it, and the vast amount of money that people earn and all that stuff.
It's funny how you say like the enjoyment that people get out of it and like the competitive nature, because I mean there are basketball players in our age right now in college and stuff like that who also do like they are like, you know, top tier basketball players or whatever in their league in college, but they also do like stuff like CS:GO and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
because they enjoy that competitive nature. They're using like that same amount.
There's some
strategy.
NBA player who's like platinum in league, and he's like a huge endorsement of esports or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
Even Rick Fox who's won
Mm-hmm.
multiple NBA championships or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Owns a team.
He's got a fucking team.
in
Yeah.
Legend. Yeah. I like that. Oh, people that actually like shouldn't have anything to do with League of Legends or esports in general. How they, I don't know, like turn sides and think that yeah, it actually is a sport.
Mm-hmm. It evokes the
Hey.
same feelings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except you don't like really run out of energy. You can game and
I don't know about that, man. I get fucking exhausted after some games in league.
you can.
There's
I'd be sweating.
been games in league where I'm like, if I win this game, I can do anything. Like it's like it's got. I've had that exact thought. Like, if I win this game, I'm just gonna be the best league player in the world because there's nothing that's harder than this right now.
Mental stamina.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it does take
How
its
many-
toll.
How many good esport movies or documentaries are there out there that actually accurately depict what the hell esports is?
Probably like.
And
Well, how many esports movie are there even?
I know
Well, I-
Netflix did a documentary about like 7 days before or whatever it's called, where they follow like a bunch of different events, like 7 days before the main event.
I
And
think
one of the episodes was about League of Legends.
I
I've
think
seen like the YouTube. They did like a YouTube kind of following Team Liquid from League of Legends,
Mhm.
and like all the struggle that they go through, and like how much they have to practice and everything.
Is that Breaking Point?
It was a long time ago that I watched it.
Yeah,
It
because
was when it was Phoenix and
yeah,
Piglet and
Team
stuff.
Liquid made a movie, like 1 hour and 40-minute movie, about like the internal struggles in their team.
Yeah, I think those kind of documentaries don't really do esports justice.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't really capture like they're kind of trying to show you like the outside world of the players instead of like understanding the game itself. Like if I were to watch a movie about a football team, I don't know that I'd care so much like the players' personal struggles unless I was really like caring about them as people.
Yeah.
But like
but that's what
I get the
football
enjoyment.
movies are, though.
But like I'm saying, I get the enjoyment out of the like to capture esports. You have to actually understand. I think in a good light to capture esports, you have to understand the game.
Yeah, but I think I
Mhm.
just think it's effective in showing that you don't just take it like esports lightly. Like it's not just you play a video game, lol, lol, lol.
Mm-hmm.
It's like takes really hard work and it has like has a mental toll on players, and it takes like 16 hours of practice a day or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it's something.
And you still might suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say, literally, my entire life I've like wanted to do stuff involving video games. Like I don't think there's any medium on Earth, or like there's very few things on Earth that I love as much as games, as like just a concept and like manifestation. I love video games, but it's still with some small amount of cringe in the back of my head, or like a little of or embarrassment where I say like, you know, I want to dedicate my life to video games. Because it's like, there's still, the perception of it is still, like, ingrained in me growing up. Where, like, people, you think of, like, a person who isn't going anywhere in life is, like, some dude sitting on the couch playing video games. But you wouldn't say, like, that used to be the couch potato who'd sit in front of the TV all day. But now it's, like, that stigma is shifted to, like, somebody who just plays video games all the time. So, somebody who's like, oh, I want to dedicate my life to writing and producing television shows. Is like that sounds so much better in my mind than like someone saying like, oh, I want to make video games in my life, you know.
Yeah. Well, have you ever met the failed athlete? The one that was gonna make it, the one that was like had the best records and blah blah blah, and they were gonna be so good, and then they had an injury, and all they talk about is how good they used to be. You know, I feel like that's like that same. Like that is going to be the same person as the video gamer stigma idea is what we're, you know.
Yeah, the esports athletes like retire in their 20s and just like don't have anything to do anymore and just end up just streaming, and that was a kind of really sad life.
Like it's hard for them to do something else than esports when like they literally drop out of high school to follow their dream, and then if it ends at like 22 or whatever, like they haven't even finished high school, what other job are they gonna get? This has to be something in esports.
Plenty of coaching jobs.
Yeah. Coaching or streaming or
they become streamers, and streaming is actually it's almost more profitable than esports.
Yeah.
So like it's not like they don't hold down, you know, they don't struggle for money or anything. Like they still make their money.
Well, you got to have a certain personality, or you got to bring in something to the table, education or something.
No, you gotta be... if you're good enough at a game, that alone is like I see streams like that. I think most of all is like people who are just good at a particular game. People watch them. You don't have to have like Seagull seems like a fine person, but he is not an entertaining.
He's not an entertainer.
Yeah,
nah. I see what you mean. And I can watch. I was about to say, I was like, everybody I watch is entertaining, but Seagull is not entertaining.
No, but you watch him because he's so goddamn good, and that's where you like.
Who's Seagull?
He's an Overwatch streamer.
Yeah,
he's a pro.
That you would have never known about unless Overwatch came out.
Yeah,
because I'm sure he's played other games competitively.
Yeah, he's one of those Team Fortress tours that came over, I think.
Yeah.
Team Fortress tours.
I don't know what they call themselves. Yeah, those were
the tours.
Those were the fucking people who came out like as soon as Overwatch was released. Like they were on top. Were the people who played Team Fortress 2 for all those years.
Oh, I love TF2. But, I was just to say like as far as the like what you were saying about if you're a movie producer, people are like see it more positive than if you're like I make video games.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's just because of like the older generations that like raised us, they didn't have that kind of culture.
No, it's definitely a cultural perception. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in our generations it's not really looked down on.
Yeah, anymore. Kind of.
Right, but it's to the older generations that I have to make those appeals to, you know. Like I have to tell someone who's in their 40s or 50s, you know, I want to come to your college because I'm making video games in my life.
Yeah.
All right.
I just can't wait for some good VR stuff to come out. I'm always excited for that.
Liana, did you have a topic?
Yeah. So like I wanted to talk about bathrooms. And
okay.
I know that like you guys are probably like I don't know, but you guys are probably like cool with transgender, like bathroom stuff.
I've never seen one actually. Or what do you mean?
Or like
exactly?
transgender people using like the bathroom that they feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But like I was thinking, just like in general, how bathrooms like in the U.S. are just so not private enough.
Oh yeah,
to, like,
definitely.
that's why that you would feel uncomfortable. Like, because you can see through like the cracks in the stalls,
Mm-hmm.
and
How is it in Sweden? Is it like more private?
that's why I wanted to say is that like in Sweden they actually have like stalls that are closed off, so you can't just like see people through the little holes in the side.
Mm.
And so you have like a closed off stall, and even at my university they would just have like a bunch of closed off stalls, and like the bathroom's just called toilets, so like anybody can just go in there no matter what your gender is or whatever, and
Oh, really?
yeah, it's just toilets, and like it doesn't feel uncomfortable because nobody can see you in the stall.
Yeah.
And then there's another one called toilets and urinals, so if you want to use a urinal you can go in there.
Like at all years, grade school children, all that stuff.
I don't know, I just know that that's how it was at my university, and that's like I thought that was really clever, I guess.
But
Anytime.
just a university, or like you go to, I don't know, I don't know what kind of restaurants or
No,
stores
it's
you
just
have.
it was just at my university that it was like
Oh,
toilets
okay.
or toilets and urinals, but like at restaurants and stuff, they're still closed off stalls. Like they'll have women and men, but then the stalls inside are always closed off.
Yeah.
I never thought it was like a huge problem, like the crack in the stall, because I'm not.
I do.
No, I'm not.
I do.
I've never like doing my
Never
thing.
made
in there,
eye
you know?
contact with somebody while you're like sitting on the toilet, a complete stranger.
No, just one time I stood up though.
yeah, you showed us
Stalls.
about that.
George Stalls.
When you said grade schoolers, anytime I think of like grade schoolers and the word bathroom, I just think of little kids doing the thing I hate, where they pull their pants all the way down to pee.
Whole ass out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing is that I don't know what it's like in a men's bathroom, but I already think that it's ridiculously not private.
It's much worse. Men's restrooms. My college, for as low income as the area it's in and everything, the bathrooms are extraordinarily clean. I almost feel safer or better going to the bathroom at my college than here in my own apartment. They
Jeez.
clean them all the time. It's very well kept, but the privacy thing is like a whole thing. It's like that. It's got the like crack in the fucking stall. And when I worked at a restaurant at Perkins, that crack was pretty significant. In some bathrooms, it is just like a little tiny sliver, but in other bathrooms, it's like maybe an inch to half an inch, where it's like you can just look through that.
Yeah. And you do, like people do, and it's uncomfortable.
Women are just constantly watching other women on the toilet.
No, it's just you're walking by, I guess, and it's
Oh, yeah,
there,
yeah.
and you just catch your eye with somebody on accident, and you're like, oh shit, and the other person on the toilet's like, god damn it, I just want to be able to pee in peace.
Mhm.
Oh no, I don't think I've never had that problem, but I'm also not looking for contact while I'm on the stall. I'm usually, I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
That is
on the phone
super unhygienic, by the way.
I'm on edge
Yeah.
if I'm in a public
Using
restroom.
your
Yeah, I
bathroom
know
while using your phone while you're using the bathroom is like, you gotta clean that shit, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got that from my dad. He used to have like the games in the basket in the toilet. He has a little basket next to the toilet, and he would like little games. So
Oh my god, we used to have like a little Tetris little game in our
Yeah.
bathroom.
Really? I never had this.
just,
We
just the
usually, like-
dirtiest piece of machinery in the house. Just-
Yeah, it would have to be. Like, you definitely gotta wash your hands after touching that thing.
Yeah. No, we usually have books at the toilet.
Look at the fucking sophistication of the Swedish people.
Like not like that kind of book, like joke books.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
That shovel like fucking.
I'm just imagining that somebody's just
Like
chugging
they're
on the
literally
toilet.
books made to be next to the toilet
Mm,
here in Sweden.
that's a good sell on business.
That's
Yeah.
dangerous, man.
Books you need next to your toilet.
Yeah.
I get up like knees all numb and shit.
Mm.
Can't even stand.
I am not one of those people who spends more time than necessary on the toilet.
Really?
Yeah.
I could settle in.
I know
man.
a lot of people are like that. I am not like that.
But I mean, doesn't literally everybody bring their phone into the bathroom?
Yeah, I'm not saying, you don't do it. I'm just saying it's gross, it's unhygienic, and you shouldn't.
Okay, yeah. But you still do it.
Yeah, bears.
You still do it, right, Bears?
I've toned it down. I won't say that I won't say I've like done it completely, but I'll catch myself and I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. But I do wipe my phone off.
With your ass?
Yeah.
Which one first?
I'll wipe my phone first. No.
I don't know, man. Send my best emails on the toilet.
No. I'm definitely not a toilet texter or anything like that.
You
Oh
should have
man.
like, you know where it says how it says like sent from iPhone or something.
I feel uncomfortable answering calls in the bathroom if I'm like not even using the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'll be sending Stephanie poop emojis.
Oh my god. That poor woman.
Every time you're on the toilet now, Jay, just send Bear a poop emoji.
Don't do
Yeah.
Just let me know how frequent it is.
that.
The third time today. It's the same when I haven't gotten up.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I don't know. Bathroom time to me, it's sacred, but I don't take it for granted. I'm not in there longer than I need to be.
Good for you, Bears.
So I got a couple more topics here, and then
I got a topic.
Oh, you got more than one? All right, go ahead.
All right. What's your favorite non-traditional style of transportation? So, I mean, if it's not a
All
car.
right, I'm gonna stop you.
Well-
We're not talking about this one.
Why not?
We're not gonna do this one. No,
I just realized.
Why you gotta be like that?
we're not doing this one.
Why?
Cause he's got
He's an asshole.
he's got an agenda he's trying to push right now.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
not.
but I never got to learn what it was, so I would like to know
Oh my god.
what Jay's favorite transportation is.
Yeah, you guys go ahead and talk.
Non-traditional.
You guys go ahead. You do your thing.
I'm glad you asked. No, this thing I got, it's called a one wheel, and it's like a skateboard with a giant, not a giant, but it has a go-kart tire in the middle of it, and it's so fun to me. You balance on it, and then you just ride. Goes like, and go for like 17 miles on this thing at 20 miles an hour.
Wait, so it's a skateboard with a go-kart wheel in the middle?
It's
Here, let me-
it's a product. Listen.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah,
listen with
feel
Bears.
free.
Okay, yeah,
feel
yeah.
free, but I don't think that this classifies as a topic.
What?
Because it only gets better. Like, what if we're doing like the Marty McFly shit, and then we're just flying on stuff? This is like a step in the right direction, in my
You said, what is
opinion.
our favorite form of non-traditional transportation? And first of all, how many forms of non-traditional transportation could there be to where we have a favorite?
Rollerblades, skateboards. Like, what do you mean? There's a lot. Like,
Longboard.
longboard. Hater.
I'd consider them traditional forms of transportation. The
They're
one
not,
wheel is not a traditional form. The
That's what I just said.
hoverboard,
Non-traditional.
the hoverboard is not a traditional form, but skateboards, rollerblades.
It's not traditional. Like, well, it's not.
You mean
I'm saying-
mechanical,
This is
non-motorized? You just wanted to fucking talk about your one wheel, all right?
Okay, I've seen. Wait, is it the one? Okay, so it's it's like a skateboard. I was thinking of where it's just a wheel and you put your feet on like the like pedals on it and then it just rides around and that's it.
Mm-mm.
There's no board.
It's not that.
Okay.
It's essentially a skateboard with a giant middle wheel, just like the middle finger that company's holding up to your wallet.
Why you gotta be like that, dude?
You brought it up. Hey, it's the topic. We're discussing it.
Low stakes, guys.
Low stakes.
Listen to the music. Listen.
I posted a picture of it in the general chat.
Yeah.
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 Well, I gotta say, I don't have anything as unique as that. So I don't know.
Sounds good.
Another one I had. Valentine's Day just happened.
Oh boy, do I have. Yeah, go ahead.
And I wanted to ask you guys, what you think about the commercialization of holidays?
All right.
The people being encouraged to go out, spend their money on things they really don't need, but like to.
Fucking terrible.
Okay, look, I'm tired. Every Valentine's Day, this is like what everybody talks about, and it pisses me the fuck off. Because what about Christmas? It's way worse than Valentine's Day.
No, I said the commercialization of holidays, not just
I
Valentine's
know,
Day.
but like, people like are always like, "Oh, I hate Valentine's Day. It's just a dumb like capitalist holiday." People it's just an excuse to buy stuff.
Mm-hmm. And Christmas,
They don't say
Christmas
shit,
is, and it hides
ever.
behind the veil of love, but Christmas hides behind the veil of family. And but it's like these are the big spender holidays. Is like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
and
but like,
if you don't do these things, you're considered to be an inconsiderate person.
well, I don't know. I like would say that I would rather celebrate something like love that like everybody can really understand and is kind of a universal thing that everybody kind of experiences than like celebrate this random holiday that's supposed to be religious but isn't really anymore. It's just a random thing that we do and we're just like, it's for family, I guess. It's like, I just feel like I get if you're gonna hate on holidays, then hate on holidays, but like I think specifically people always hate on Valentine's Day. They never hate on like Easter or Christmas or Halloween or any of that. It's always Valentine's Day that people say that is too commercial. I don't get it because it's like I feel like the other holidays are a lot bigger.
They
like
don't say
Easter,
Black
Halloween,
Friday
and
is too
Christmas.
commercial. Literally the most commercial holiday that there is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's definitely a sentiment. Sort of. Jesus,
Whoa.
Jay, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
He fell off his wheel.
Did you? I hope you fell off your fucking wheel.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's great. That's exactly what it sounded like happened too.
I can see it in my head too.
Oh,
Terrible
man.
friends.
You're the one trying to push fucking One Wheel on us. You goddamn. Are you sponsored? Can you get Low Stakes
Karma.
sponsored by One Wheel?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to continue discussing their product if they were to, give us a little more money.
Yeah. Sponsor us.
Yeah, but yeah, the commercialization of holidays, I think like it's a hard thing to say you need to get rid of overall because it's so ingrained in our society at this point.
Yeah.
And I can't really say that it's necessarily bad, but it can be harmful. And part of it is like I think we need to move back towards the fact that it's like about the people you care about less than spending money. When I was young, I did not come up very financially stable, and there was a couple times where around Christmas my mom felt really bad because she couldn't get me and my sister a lot of the gifts that she thought we would want. So
Yeah.
that's like one of the pressures that I think like these kinds of holidays put on people is like you have to, it's like you're supposed to take part because this is what your loved ones or whatever expect of you to do, and if you don't or you can't, then you know it's like, I don't know, it'd make you feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being like a little kid, and my brothers are a lot older than me, and then I felt like guilty just being a little kid because I don't have money
Mm-hmm.
and I can't get my family anything, and it just feels like you feel guilt because like you can't
Yeah, exactly.
do anything.
Yeah.
And it's also like the problem of like little kids that believe in Santa. Like some kids that like have rich families will get like really expensive things like gaming consoles or whatever.
Oh, and they'd be
then
like,
the
why didn't
poorer
Santa
families-
bring me?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that shit is really fucked up
Yeah, that
for
is.
sure.
Yeah, I think my parents used to be like, so when we were still younger and believed in Santa, they would buy us more of like the cheaper gifts. It was from Santa, but then the more expensive gifts would be from our parents. So yeah, so we wouldn't think that
That's
all our gifts.
that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
but then...
you grew up thinking Santa was just a cheap fuck?
Yeah, exactly. No, not like that. But...
At least then he's a cheap fuck to everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Santa's living off the margins in the fucking North Pole. It's paycheck to paycheck.
But I agree. Like the whole thing is, the whole thing with holidays is it's I feel mixed because I like celebrating. I like having reasons to celebrate and like to do silly cultural things like traditional things. But it also sucks that every year, pretty much Christmas, every year you have to feel so guilty like, oh no, I didn't get this person something, like, oh god, I have to spend like this much money. I don't know if I can afford that
Mm-hmm.
in order to get everyone something. Like, that's rough.
Yeah. So, the next topic I wanted to talk about was drawing the line for anime. How much anime is too much anime? Where does anime come to a point where a person is like no longer healthily interested and it becomes obsession? Because I've seen some well-adjusted individuals who have like mini posters and stuff around in their homes, and they like.
That's not.
Huh?
I have 3 posters of anime right now on my walls.
Yeah, but is
and
it
I
like?
own a lot more that I haven't dropped yet.
But like when you buy a body pillow, is that like too far?
Yeah.
So
I
where do
think
you
so.
wherein does where lies the optimal
I
point
think
between posters and body pillow?
I think if you like romanticize it too much and like make it
Yeah.
like your fantasy, then it becomes really dangerous.
Yeah, then it's too much.
Mm.
But like figurines, I think figurines is just fine.
Even if it's like
T-shirts.
what do you think about the like boob mouse pads?
Oh,
The cleavage mouse
know.
pads. Have you guys seen these?
yeah, I've seen what you mean. I know what you mean. It's
I've
Yeah.
seen like I've seen like those giant body pillows. I'm just now joining in on the conversation.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
That said, we're gonna
Okay.
actually edit out that part where you were having a talk.
So Stephanie was listening to all that, so she's like very confused just now.
What, the anime discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. we're
Yeah,
trying to say like where's the line? Where's the line? Where do you draw the line for like anime fans?
like to me, it is about like the woman. Like if they're if people are like super into like the female characters where they like have their boobs as their mouse pad and like a body pillow of them
I know
and like
some
think of them as
girls,
their waifu, it's
some
like
girls who get into the animes too hard too.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I know more of them than I know the guys. Maybe because the guys are just more closeted about it, but the girls who are super anime fans are super anime fans.
But are they really anime
to the point
fans?
where they're like fantasizing about like the characters. I guess that's what I.
Yeah,
where
I
I
know
draw the
girls who
line.
like owned the body pillows and
No,
stuff like
I'm saying like yeah, it goes for girls too.
that. Yeah, okay. So, buying figurines is not too far. But,
I don't think so. At least.
I can say I've never thought about buying one.
I've considered buying little League figurines, but that's not like stringently anime.
See, I thought about stuff like that for Overwatch, like maybe stickers or whatever else, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
not
I
a
have
figure.
League
So.
and anime figurines in my house or my apartment.
Yeah, I would buy anything Kingdom Hearts if it wasn't like weird, sexual.
Yeah.
Why does it go to that though?
Why?
Like, why is anime so sexualized?
I don't know. That's what bothers me, honestly.
Well, I think
They're
Japan as a
lonely.
country is more previously in Japan, sexual like just being sexuality was a lot more open, and I think they like adopted Western standards, and like that's what sort of shifted the culture. But I don't know how anime sort of kept it this whole time. But yeah, like in the history of Japan. Wow. In the history of Japan, like sexuality was like a much more prevalent thing. And like open.
Yeah.
I can't exactly explain why anime happened to adopt that so hard, but
I think like I have a problem because people say that like sexual like liberation is like what it is, but when you're putting people and characters on like a pedestal and like buying their panties and like whatever they're called, I can't remember, dispensers in Japan, and like groping
dispensers.
people, and yeah, they have dispensers with like underwear
Oh man.
What?
in it. Yeah, like stuff like that I don't think is a positive sexual liberation. It's
Is it
just too
though?
much of
Like,
like a fantasizing.
Well, we're kind of getting to the point where like territory where like the I don't know. I find it very hard to judge people who are just being happy when they're not hurting anyone else. Like kids who
But I
Naruto
feel
run
like
in
it's
high school.
I think it's harmful to women, like to have that kind of culture where you're putting them on a pedestal and not like you're seeing them as like this kind of fantasy rather than like real people.
Well, the thing with that, but in that culture, women are almost completely ignored. Real women. So it's not like they're objectifying real women. They actually prefer their fantasies.
Yeah, well that's I feel like it's a problem to live in a fantasy like that. Because I think it puts women on a pedestal. Even if they're like they're choosing to be with like their anime waifu and like video game characters because that's like their fantasy woman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there a problem? Well, I guess there's a problem in general with just not living in reality,
Yeah.
is what we're kind of getting into.
Yeah.
But
People are making that
I feel
argument
like
about
that's-
Marvel movies and stuff right now.
what do you mean?
Well, people are basically like how anime is in Japan. People are saying like that's sort of what Marvel movies is like infantilizing Americans. Is like making people not want to grow up and see the real world. Is like superhero movies are doing that. That's what is sort of like it's actually a pretty big discussion right now in America.
Huh.
Is it hurting people though? I guess it can have some
Which is now
effects.
so now we have a through line to draw the parallels like between how much where to the what point is like the superhero do we indulge in that too much to where compared to like anime in Japan, because being like a super otaku is like a kind of a normal thing there.
But like, do people that like superhero stuff actually like live in the fantasy of it? Because I've never seen that before, really.
That's the argument that's being made, is that like superhero movies are making people not want to grow up and see the real world for what it is. It's like feeding too much into the imagination and the fantasy of adult people is like what
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't, because I haven't really.
I feel like it's bullshit,
that.
but
Yeah,
I've never seen anyone like that
I
either.
haven't seen that like to the extent of an otaku.
But in what case is it a problem for other people besides, maybe for the people that love that person, or like that person's parents, or family members, loved ones, and whatever. Who else is it hurting? Is it actually hurting anybody?
Well, that's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think it's fine as long as. I'd say it's fine as long as it's not hurting anyone and it makes that person happy, and it's not hurting them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But some people just don't, at the same time, may not realize how good life could be for them if they indulged in other parts of their life, or maybe they're using it as a coping mechanism for something else, or who knows. But it's like, I don't know. It's a hard thing to say.
Like, in what way making them like, I don't get how superhero movies in what way makes people more childlike.
When you go too far into it, I guess. Like when you're really, I don't know. When you're putting all that energy into that, and you're all into that fantasy.
Because I feel like,
right?
Because I feel like it's not. Nobody's ever like in that reality, like where they like, are like, this is how I want the world to be, and this is like the reality I'm gonna live in. And I feel like it would be the same as comparing people that like golf or, I guess, video games. I don't know.
All into something.
Right? Yeah. Does being all into anything make you childlike?
Maybe.
Well, who was that guy who fucking... When Stan Lee died, there was like a guy who basically tried to invalidate everything he'd done, and say that like he basically said that it was childish for people to revere Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's...
Me personally, I don't think it's like healthy to have like idols over people who are pretty much essentially normal,
Mm-hmm.
They're just, I don't get when people just follow people so intensely when they're just a person like you, and you basically have that same potential, but you choose to just kind of follow them and what they do instead of pursuing what they do or whatever else. Maybe some people can't do that, but I don't know.
I do like agree that I don't I feel like uncomfortable with people like idolizing people that are just
Anybody.
human.
Yeah.
Like they're just another human. Like they did something amazing, but like they're still human,
Well,
just like you.
I don't mean idolizing. I mean revering him and like the way that people did when Stan Lee died. Like they were like, you know, they loved him. So I wouldn't
Yeah,
say they
but,
made
I
an
mean-
idol of him, but not any more than like people did, like Freddie Mercury or uh anyone
Yeah.
like Kurt Cobain.
I mean, I
or-
would say
yeah.
it's pretty like it obviously people should respect his work because he did a good job. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be a problem. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I don't know that we've really been able to draw a line on that one, or get to a point where we have something definitive.
For the superhero thing?
Well, the superhero thing and the anime, because like it seems like it's just maybe too broad of a discussion.
I just don't know what the effects are. I mean, there's probably some non-direct effects that are harming people, but I feel like for the most part, it's okay. I got to see some cases that are just super harmful for me to like, I don't know, to say something about it. But even then, it's like that person's choice. It's like anything else. Like some people become strippers, and I don't think that's the best way to live life, but that's your choice, and you're making money, and you're happy, and do what you want to do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the guy was Bill Mayer, and one of the things he said was, I don't think it's a huge stretch to suggest that Donald Trump could only get elected in a country that thinks comic books are important.
That guy's so dumb.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry, any Bill Mayer fans, but I. Man.
Yeah, so that's sort of the argument. It's like, why are adults like making this essentially entertainment or something that they perceive as supposed to be for children? Why are they making it such a big part of their lives? And it's sort of the same thing with like the anime community, like, or me with video games. Like, why is it such a big part of a person's life?
Chasing nostalgia.
I don't think, like, honestly, that they're really kids' things. I don't know why they're classified as kids' things.
Adults create these things.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
are you saying, like, how are video games just kids' things? How is anime kids' things? Have you seen, like, anime is so diverse. There's so many different genres.
Well, sure,
Yeah.
yeah, we know that, but it's like they believe that these things are supposed to be tailored to, as they are often marketed to children, most
Yeah.
especially. And so
yeah,
when
well,
it,
that's just ignorant.
well,
Yeah.
yes, of course it is. But there is also like a large sect of people who, I don't know, do get worked up or get obsessed about things that maybe are supposed to be for children. Like, they basically are questioning the values of where we put our values in society. Like, is it as important as it should be?
Well,
Which should be important.
And that's a whole
I think it
discussion
is too
entirely.
general. Because there are things that are for children, like
Mhm.
that people do, like idolize maybe too much. I don't know, because of maybe the nostalgia or like wanting to be infantile or whatever. Like maybe My Little Pony as an example.
Mhm.
But to say just anime in general, like there are a lot of really adult animes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like most animes are for like at least teenagers or older, not
Yeah.
for kids.
I guess people will just always be willing to demonize anything. Like, it wasn't so long ago, people were claiming that Harry Potter, your children shouldn't read Harry Potter because it encourages witchcraft.
People demonize things that they don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or don't align with their specific values.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it is just not understanding, because I
So,
honestly think that, like, anybody could find an anime that they would like.
Yeah.
Like, literally anybody
Yeah,
could find
I
an anime
agree.
that they would like.
in that vein, are we demonizing people who like buy body pillows?
I mean, I specifically, yes.
No problems here. No conflict here.
Well, I don't see the point of. I mean, yeah, the point of body pillows is it's honestly just a sexual object. It's not because it's the comfiest pillow and
Are you
no,
really?
if you're saying
I've
that.
wanted a fucking not a body pillow, but I've wanted a pillow that's like as long as my body before.
I get wanting a
different
body
thing.
pillow.
Oh, are
that's
you
just
talking about
like,
the body pillow with the prints, or are we talking about just body pillows?
Well, the body pillows with the prints, but if you
Okay,
buy a
that's a
body,
different thing.
this is a weird argument. But if you buy a body pillow because you really like that comfort, and it just happens to have an anime character,
happens to. You don't just happen to buy. You don't just go to the store and happen to find a naked anime girl in a body pillow.
Well,
That's something
no,
you order
not
online
necessarily
because
naked.
you want it.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
making the argument against naked. That is explicitly sexual. But if it's like a
Yeah.
fully clothed and they take care of it, like they just make it a nice fixture in their home, like, is it okay for someone to buy a body pillow if they're not like making it a sexual object? Do we still call that too far?
I don't know.
I
I don't know.
I think if it has an anime character on it, then you're fantasizing too much with the anime character. That's a little messed up, in my opinion.
Well, some
Like, I
people
think
probably
it's
don't even
nice
know
to
who the
have
anime character is.
A body-sized pillow that you can cuddle with and that keeps you, like, comforted, but, like, I think when you put an anime character on it, it's like you're fantasizing about the anime character.
What if you gotten a pillow with someone's that you really revere, someone's real face on it?
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, like, my boyfriend, if it's long distance or something, like, oh, it'll be, like, kind of like,
Yeah. So
here.
that would be fine.
That's, like, a real person.
Yeah.
But, like, not, like, an idol.
Yeah,
Put a
not
shirt
like
on the pillow.
Beyonce or something.
Yeah.
I guarantee you someone's got a Beyonce pillow.
Yeah.
They,
I do
they
too,
cut
yeah.
all that shit every night.
Without a doubt.
Ordered her clothes and stuff.
And yet Jay-Z still cheats on her, okay.
But so is that just as bad or less bad than someone with an anime pillow?
I think it's bad in a different way. Because it's like, it's a real
No.
person, but then you're still putting them on a pedestal, and plus it's creepy because they're a real person. And imagine if they knew that like,
It's
people were
creepy
sleeping with
whether it's a
them.
real person or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to know that some random person in, like, some random country or state is cuddling with a pillow that has me on it.
Even if it
That's
makes
hella
them
creepy.
very happy and they are not hurting
Yes.
you or anyone around them at all.
Yes, that would make
I'm
me
not letting you out of this
uncomfortable.
one so easy, Liana. No, it seems you're, I give you credit where credit's due. It's very much more hard for me to, like, come to a conclusion on this. I'm glad you're resolved. But I don't know, I sit firmly on, like, it's so hard for me to judge people because I always try to, like, see the merits of something even when there might not be any merits. But I don't know. There's just so many different people in this world, and they all have their reasons for doing whatever they do, and it's hard to find. It's hard to be as happy as someone who loves that waifu, you know? And that's what makes them truly happy in, like, life. Because I'm fucking normie. I don't have anything like that right now, you know?
Are you jealous?
Yeah. No, but I mean, really, like it's. I don't know. They're very fortunate people, even if the circumstances aren't something that we can necessarily appreciate.
Yeah.
So they need to be happy.
Yeah. Well, that's my conclusion on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to like connect with the actual human being over that, and like see
Yeah.
people for who they actually are, rather than pretending they're these like perfect fantasies.
Is it easier maybe? That's the only reason. Or
Yeah.
All right, guys. I
That
actually
was-
gotta head out of here.
Well, yeah, that was my last topic anyway for today. I think we covered a lot of
Good.
ground, and
yeah.
this is another successful session of low stakes, the lo-fi low stake sociological product pushing podcast. So
Get a one wheel, kids. You'll
go
fall
out
off
there,
of it.
get your
Buy
one
one
wheels, buy your body pillows, and we'll see you guys next time on Low Stakes.
You just
Bye-bye.
put body pillows and one wheels in the same level.
Or Justin, don't you cuddle your one wheel at night?
Oh my god.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.